Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mindful Reality, the channel that covers reality TV from a mental health perspective. I woke up this morning. I went on Facebook. In one of my Facebook groups, I saw Vince has appeared. So I was like, okay, let's see. What does that mean? Vince actually either created a YouTube or posted on his YouTube. I don't know if he had one before, but as of the time that I watched his video, which is about 10 minutes, I think that it is listed under like Vinny Pinero, Vinny and his last name, and it had about 435 views. So that leads me to believe that he just recently made the page. So I decided to take a look at it, see what he said. He says basically, I don't know where I'm going with it, true to form, I guess. He said you could probably just call this a diary room entry, right? Somebody just got a boot on their car. Ooh, I know that pain. Anyways, he said you could just call this like a diary room entry. So I watched the diary room entry, and he began by saying, like, believe it or not, he doesn't cry as often outside of the game as he did inside the game. I don't know, maybe that's true, maybe that's not. For me, it wasn't even the fact that he was crying. It's just that the crying felt like strategy. Like, it just reminded me of a Nicole Franzel type of cry where it was just like, woe is me. I want people to feel sorry for me so that they will not put me on the block or vote me out of the game. That was the only thing. And if he kind of owned that part of the crying, whatever. You guys always hear me say, I don't like every strategy, but obviously we all watch and we all have different opinions on what we like to see in a Big Brother competitor and or winner. And for some, I remember there were some people that were like, oh no, I think that his strategy is very good. I think that he's good at manipulating. Just not saying that it was manipulation, because ain't nobody really mad about Ashley talking about her version of manipulation. I did this, I was in control, I used Lauren's good nature and this, and then I used Vinny. I learned this about Vinny and I used this against him, and then I left Morgan and Vince's relationship and how they were going to be two votes, and I used the fact that Morgan had all the power to kind of kiss up to Morgan. I used Rachel as a shield, this and that. Like, I'm not mad at that, because you're sitting here and you're telling us this is what I'm doing, this is what I did with the game. These are the tactics that I used. I've never actually heard anything in any of these interviews I saw him do where he clearly just stated that. So that was more my thing than the crying. The rest of it to me was just pretty much talking about him and Kelsey. I think there was probably a lot more that he would have liked to say, and I felt like I was waiting for him to kind of get to the point, because it was kind of so roundabout and not really specific. But the part that I know that the fandom is gonna care about, because trust me, if there's one thing I know very well, it's a Big Brother fandom, and the only part of anything that he said that they're gonna care about really is what he said about himself and Kelsey and Morgan. So he pretty much said he's the one who set the boundaries in terms of what he was going to be able to or allowed to do with any woman in the house. He was basically kind of trying to say he, in his mind, was not crossing the line, but he could understand how somebody could feel like his relationship with Morgan was crossing the line. I think that he was just kind of doubling down on what he had said before, where he was just like, I needed a comfort person, that was that was the person, but this is basically what I needed in the game, but I didn't consider it as cheating in the game. But I could understand why it's a bad look and why it would look wrong to somebody on the outside. He gave like a little bit of a status update on himself, and Kelsey basically saying, it basically just sounded like he said they were separated right now. He said something like, we're individually processing the situation and figuring things out from there, which I basically took to mean, I don't know, separated and or broken up. I don't know what you call it. A break. I don't know what you call it. But anyways, they're not actively together right now, from what he was saying. But he was just kind of saying that the door is not closed on them coming together. So that's that. Hi, Avery. Hi, Quinn. Ramyar. Yes, like the stream, please. Okay, so yeah, that was basically it. It's a very short video. Check it out. I threw a comment on there. You know, I told you guys that I'm getting tired of asking for interviews, but I did throw a comment on there. I said I said to him on the comment that I would be willing to give him a fair interview on my channel. Hey, do me a favor and do him a favor. Go check out that video on his page. Maybe after this, I'll link it, but you can easily find it. I think Vinny Pinero on YouTube, and find my comment, because there's only so few of them on there right now, and like my comment and respond to the comment and tell him come on down to the page, and I really would give him a fair interview about things that happened during a season. I'm very fair when I interview, because I remember when I interviewed Alyssa Lopez, at the particular time that I asked her for an interview, there were things that I didn't like from a couple of seasons of the challenge that she did, and like a couple of things that she had said about the cookout. So she wasn't my favorite person at that time. But when I went into interview mode, interview mode Mark is different. But you know, if that happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, I'm not necessarily losing sleep over that, but I would do it if the opportunity presented itself. So go on the page, help me out, like my comment underneath his video, and there's not really a lot to say about it, because he didn't say a lot. Like I said, it was a very short video, and it was a succinct summary of what he's already said. The only one difference was him directly, for the first time, saying that himself and Kelsey are on a separation. And then he was basically, I don't remember if he said Morgan's name directly. Maybe he did once, maybe, I don't remember. But he was saying she did nothing wrong. He said he's like, I'm the one who set the boundaries, so it's on me. That was probably his response to knowing all the things that the fandom have said and how she feels about it. So it was real quick, but he said, I'm the one that's in the relationship, and I'm the one who set the boundaries. So, you know, if anyone's in the wrong for anything, it's me. And then he was like, how much he respects Kelsey because she could have just flat out been like, it's over, I'm dumping you, we're done. But he said she didn't do that. She said that she's gonna take time to process everything that's happened. And then there's this one other thing, it just slipped out of my mind. There's one other thing I was gonna say. Oh yeah, it was about Vince saying it doesn't matter whether we were gonna break up before I got in the house or not, because we were together. That was probably a response to like the fire that Jimmy started, to be honest. And then he's talking a little bit about how the fandom just latched on to him as somebody to hate, which I don't necessarily think is. I just don't think that he realizes that he wasn't that likable of a character. That's that's just the truth of the matter. Um, and the thing is, when somebody gets a bad edit, typically the cast will come out and say so, and like if there's a lot of things that we're not seeing about that person that. But anyways, thanks for watching my video. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content. And once again, a third reminder, jump on that video if you can, reply to my comment underneath his video, and let's see what happens. Manifesting this Ashley interview though, Thursday. Manifesting it for the Amazing Race watch party that I'm going to. I'll talk to you all soon.